what the heck? We see all this cool AI in academia, in the corporate world, in movies. Where is it in the military? The real world differs a little bit in taking things from the sandbox into the real world. It's a little bit of complexity, but we still lag significantly from where we should be. So here are 10 recommendations and findings of where we can improve AI in the military. Number 1, efforts are disjointed. There's no economies of scale. Nobody's working together. Everybody seems to be doing their own thing, and everybody isn't able to benefit from each other. So we need some centralization. Centralization is difficult, it can be dangerous, but we need a little bit so that we can get some governance and direction. We can get some sharing and synergies across the different disparate efforts in the DoD and the military. We need standards, we need some sharing, we need that interoperability that is present in, for instance, Google. Their large organization is able to bring together all of their disparate AI efforts and then synergize some of them across the different efforts, across their loon shots and moonshots, so that they can see advantage from that. So this isn't to say that we don't need a bottoms-up development, but we do need a strategy, a roadmap, some guidance and standards, as well as some direction on what direction to head so that we can all be moving out in the same direction. Number 2, this one may be the most important, but it's number 2, data is a critical resource. We overlook that a lot of the times in the military and Department of Defense. We need to collect, curate, analyze, and share our data. In the Industrial Revolution, with the advent of electricity, they originally just took electric motors and replaced the steam motors in the exact same locations in the factories, and then they wondered why they didn't see efficiencies. This electricity was supposed to be this new thing, wasn't producing. Andrew Ng and others have said that electricity is equivalent to the AI in the 21st century. We need to revolutionize the way that we look at data. Data is no longer something to throw away. I have thousands of hours of data that I've collected through my flying career that has just been completely thrown out the window. Those millions and millions of hours of data could be aggregated and analyzed and used very efficiently, but we're just squandering that. Number 3, we need an AI-ready workforce and leaders strategically motivated to make decisions. This is going to be difficult because it's not an easy button. We need this as prevalent through our training and education. We need to be able to mold people as they grow up to be leaders. We need to be able to recruit, train, retain, and value these individuals. We need a culture that values artificial intelligence, that values innovation. Key thing with innovation, and a lot of people get this wrong, is innovation isn't research and development. Innovation isn't creating the next best widget. Innovation is thinking differently, taking the goodness that you see out there and incorporating that into your problems. Oftentimes it'll fail. Failure is often punished in the military. This may come as a surprise. But we need to be able to fail gracefully. We need to be able to fail forward, learn lessons from those failures and progress. And that's just going to require a culture change. Number 4, DoD unique testing and evaluation. So training, testing, and evaluation are required in all of these systems, and they're a little bit different than the corporate world. We have our pretty pink bodies on the line, we have civilians on the line, we have strategic consequences on the line, where some corporate investments could only have a slightly negative impact on their throughput or return on investment or something like that. The impetus for getting T&E right in the military is significantly higher than the corporate world, And it's also complicated by the fact that there are potential adversaries that would be screwing with your stuff, for a lack of a better word. Number 5, we need to be able to connect users, researchers, developers, everybody that wants to work on data and interoperate together so that we can have those individuals work together without direction from us. Metcalfe's law was developed for the telephony system as far as nodes connected to each other, but the effect that we see from our networks is directly proportional to the square of those in our network. So the more users, the more developers, the more corporations, data providers that we can get in that network, the more that we can get those individuals working with each other without direct hands-on control from the top down. So that squared potential is just undervalued in today's military. Number 6, we need to be reevaluating our ways of acquisition and contracting, because most R&D and innovation happens outside of the DoD today. In the early 20th century, the vast preponderance of research and development happened inside the government. It was very much, the U.S. government handing out money to people. Now that is absolutely and completely changed. The vast preponderance of R&D and innovation is occurring in the corporate world, in academia, and it's in our best interest to go out and procure that commercial off the shelf and tweak it for our needs rather than developing that in-house. The problem is we have such a lengthy cycle of acquisition and expensive requirement on our companies that startups and other agile developers are just not able to adhere to our requirements because of the vast overhead that's required. So that places an undue burden on those startups. So we need short-term projects and we need long-term projects, and we also need a flexibility as far as individual organizations and researchers being able to go after what they see as valuable in the space. Number 7, we need to be able to reduce the barriers to tinkering. That captain in the squadron that's got programming ability, he understands data, he should be able to go in there, access data sets, and develop novel solutions in code himself or with some little cheap help, and then be able to implement that. But due to our processes, procedures, our stovepipes, our lockdown security, our multi-layer security, our clearances, our bureaucracy, that captain is stifled and beat down to the extent that he just gives up. He's not able to actually implement that most of the times. We need that ability to reduce those barriers, and there's a lot that we can do on that so that we promote that tinkering and that novel innovation on the edge, because those are the individuals that are closest to the problem, not you or I. Number 8, we need to be able to foster trust. This one is easier said than done, but fostering trust requires us to be able to express our wins, our values, and then take those and adjust what we're doing. And then show that to the user, show that to the outside world. So with those small victories, we're able to create incremental trust. Relationships are the best at creating trust. Number 1, AI should be completely transparent to the user. Number 2, the more that they're exposed to the success, then the fully integration seamlessly, the better they'll be, the more that they'll trust it. Number 9, develop and strengthen relationships. Relationships meaning corporate, intergovernment, international. We have a lot of partners that we could be synergizing all of our research, our efforts, our data sets, but yet we're developing more and more stovepipes every single day. We need to be knocking down those stovepipes. We need to be bringing corporate America in to help us. We need to be sharing our data with them, but still owning that data. And then we need to be sharing across the interagency and across government as well. So the Department of Defense is working with the Department of State to create messages and ways to propagate those messages to decredit, is that a word? Decredit messages that are put out, the propaganda from other countries, as well as push our truth narratives, as well as international partners. A lot of times we come across boundaries and stovepipes because we like to value our intelligence and not share it with others. The same with them. We need to be knocking down those barriers and all working together. We're all on the same team moving towards a goal. AI is no different. We need to be making sure that data and AI is heading in the same direction. Number 10, last but not least, an AI-ready and interconnected system and data structure. So we need our systems and our data, our ability to record data, to be AI ready. So if we're recording data that's completely unstructured, maybe there's some things that we can do on the collection side so that that data could be structured. And then those systems, not necessarily standards all the time, standards help significantly, but the ability for those systems to talk to each other and to synergize the sensor, decider, and actor across the spectrum is invaluable. We need to create those communities, we need to create those pipelines for that data and that network of systems to be able to talk to each other so that data to decision is seamless, or at least possible. Those are the 10. Hope you guys like it. Implementing sustainable AI in the military is extremely important. If you guys like this, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe down below. What a beautiful day. Love some comments if you guys can leave them. I would like to know what you like, what you don't like, possible room for improvement. What do you guys want to see in the future?